Hey everybody, hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome back to Let's Play Siralim Ultimate. Last episode we had a good grindy episode, doing some low-level grinding with our new party, and we got some pretty good progress made on these battle achievements. 38,000 minions summoned all the way from, I think, 12 or 13,000 when we started out, all the way up to 38,000. So we're racing along, and pretty good progress on resurrections as well. Also, hang on, my good old games client is updating. Sorry, it just popped up out of nowhere. Shouldn't have shown up in. God, jeez, out of my way, dude. You can't see it, but like it's popping up all kinds of stuff. Go away, dude. Go away. I want to play a different game. All right. Sorry about that. But yeah, we have a lot of work still to do on both these achievements, but they're basically done because we proved definitively over the last couple episodes that we have the builds that are able to do it. In this episode, though, we are not going to immediately start out doing more grinding on those achievements, because we got some prophecy stuff to take care of. We have 4 Rhodian creature masters to kill. You can only do those at your highest realm depth, with the small caveat that every once in a while you get a special nether portal encounter which spawns 3 masters in one place, and I believe they will also count for this achievement, but that is a very rare encounter which you will not often see. Also, hang on a second. Oh boy, humidity is down all the way to 30%. Just give me a moment. I gotta, because I can feel it in my throat. Just give me a second. I gotta do a couple of things. Alright boys, I'm back. I did a couple things. I turned my humidifier back on, and I just popped a cough drop, which, man, these things do wonders for when you have to speak for extended periods in, dry environments. Honestly, I should have been using these ages ago, because I really do struggle speaking for extended periods of time. Anyway, in today's episode, we have these creature masters to kill, and we also have a false god to kill. This is going to take us like around 7 realms, and then having killed those, I guess we'll also do the divination candle stuff. Having killed those dudes, we will then transition back to our resurrection and minion grinding party. But along the way, I'm hoping that we can get one pesky achievement permanently out of the way. We need to oh god, come on. We need to open 63 more treasure chests to be permanently done with the treasure trove 10 achievement, and then we will never have to open treasure chests ever again, except for when they are required by runes of prophecy. And then we will only need to do them as long as we need to do runes of prophecy. And then once the Rune of Prophecy achievements are done, there are about a dozen different grindy things that we will just never have to do ever again in this game. So what we're going to do is we're going to crank up instability all the way up. Go to a random realm. And let's see, do we need to kill like a dumpling treasure golem? Nope. We need riddle dwarves, we need nether realms, and we need pando shrines. So, well, that's one of the things we need, even though it didn't give us anything. That's fine. And our our fermented hops build, as powerful as always. This build is a beast, and we of course expect it to function in almost every scenario. Instability 5, boss fights, false god, like nether boss fights, false god fights, even most Xantai fights with a couple exceptions. Alright. Alright, let's see what we gotta do. We just gotta kill enemies. We also gotta kill some divination candle enemies. 17 of those. So let's do those, and we'll see where we are at after that. Hit that chest. Kill some more unicorns, as one does. Ah, okay. Ooh, oh, come on. Oh, come on. I hate these treasure golems. Because they will bomb rush you like normal enemies, and then the game acts like you killed them. The game acts like you were trying to kill them, when obviously the game's they're just setting you up. They're just setting you up for crimes that you didn't actually commit. I don't know what either of those spells are, but they don't seem like they're probably that good. Have we found the candle? We have not. Alright, come on. Let's get this done. When we find the candle, what sort of creatures do we want to summon? We're probably going to be killing a good amount of life creatures in this very realm, so maybe let's focus on nature, chaos, death, and we don't have to kill sorcery at all. So nature, chaos, death, and then maybe one more. Let's call it nature. Okay, okay. Feeling good about the situation, but we do want to pick up the pace a little bit. Alright, let's find this candle. Not this candle, although I appreciate the extra flavor. Take out some dudes. And let's carry on moving. Opening up all these chests, waiting for that all-important achievement pop-up to tell us that we no longer need to open chest 2. And speaking of Xantai fights, let's go in and wabam. Wabam. I think he survived one turn because he probably had one of those boss traits that was like, ooh, as long as my enemies are alive, I'm invincible, or something dumb like that. And these nether stones are all garbage, so we're gonna say no. Gonna say no, and that's these guys dead. Okay, that's the realm done. Okay, where the hell is this divination candle man? Where the heck is this divination candle man? Like, seriously, is it... Have I just missed it, or is it in some part of the realm that I haven't seen, or what's going on? What's going on, guys? Okay, there's more to this realm. That explains it. There it is. Here's our regular master. We need to kill 3 more of these. So, nature, chaos, death. Our death creatures can be, I don't know. Let's do Void Lords. Nature creatures can be Uralos. And chaos creatures can be a bit of that action. Alright. Can we summon more enemies? No, we can't. So we'll kill however many we can, and because the candle is so far out of the way, we'll just kill however many are on the way to the end, which is like 3 of them. Okay. Let's see if we can like maybe get a couple others killed to reduce the amount that we need to kill in the next realm. Alright, let's just get a few of these killed to reduce the burden on the next realm. Go down. Go up. I think we've probably killed around 10 of them, maybe. But now we're running out of kills. All right. Maybe we can sneak a couple others. Let's see how many. Okay, we've killed 9. We'll have killed 12 by the time this realm is done. All right, let's kill you. And then let's move on to the next realm. Because I want to be done with this. I guess let's kill you. Now let's move on to the next realm. Okay. Okay, boys. We're done. New realm. The random realm can stay random. Oh god, 292, I gotta get rid of that. You can see why I want to be done opening treasure chests, because they give us too much garbage, man. They give us way too much garbage. Alright. Alright, boys. Let's see how this is gonna go. And there's no need to hit any loot generating object that doesn't count as a treasure chest. Only treasure chests count as treasure chests. Even things that are treasure chests sometimes don't count as treasure chests, like the large treasure chests, like the treasure chests in certain nether rooms. So yeah, the game's very picky about what it will or won't count towards that achievement, which is another reason why. What is happening in this realm? I don't know if there's some nonsense happening in this realm, but something funny was happening in a couple of these fights. Alright, boys. Alright, boys. Let's find the candle. And we're gonna probably be killing a lot of nature creatures in this realm, so let's summon a few death creatures. Sounds good to me. And I guess one garbage thing that's happening in this realm is enemies are enemies have the like the chance to resist damage thing, which is just like really dumb, man. And just I think at this point everybody like just unanimously agrees that it shouldn't be in the game, but it's probably gonna stay in the game. They're just dumb things that stay in games for reasons that are often... It's sort of like in how Diablo 2... I haven't played Diablo 2 in a while, so it's possible that they've changed this, but I somehow doubt that they've changed this. The fact that you need to buy arrows and bolts as opposed to just having a permanent arrow or bolt item that just stays in your inventory. The fact that you need to do that is just so annoying. And everybody, even, it's not like this is a newfangled thing. Even from the olden days, everybody agreed that this is just a bad... Like, in a game that is otherwise an awesome game, it's just a bad thing that makes the game less good and less fun. But, of course, you know, sometimes developers get irrationally attached to the bad decisions that they make, and just like specifically to spite the people who play their games, just refuse to change them. And it seems like the better the game is, oftentimes the better the game is, the worse the like bad idiosyncrasies are. Like another example is, you know, Binding of Isaac and all the tedium with greed mode that it's just permanently part of the game, and or like the achievements that have to do with grinding dailies, which are so hated that most speedrun categories will allow you to use a file that comes preloaded with those achievements done, because nobody wants to do them, nobody wants to talk about them, nobody wants to see them, but they're still part of the game. Oh well, oh well, oh well. Alright, we're done with this realm. And we're done with the candle stuff. Okay. Assassination done. Pilgrimage done. Let's go back to page 30-ish. So one last fiend, and then we're on to the familiars. Okay. Alright, what else? Let's start another project, another pilgrimage. Who was that? 84, that's you? Alright, next. Yeah, let's just go down into another realm. Sounds good to me. Ooh, there's another exotic realm. Don't mind if I do. Please stop. 1,000 stardust. How much stardust are we at? How much stardust are we at? Is it enough to do another... What the fuck is happening in this realm, dude? Is this the master? Yes, it is. Hit a couple of these. Ooh, well, what was that achievement that just popped? Oh, it's a competent inquisitor. I was like, is that the chest achievement? No. It's a different one. Okay, so do we care about treasure chests? We do. And that's probably too many of them, as a matter of fact. So this Rune of Prophecies might end up being pretty bad for us. Faraway Enclave is Lister. And there's some other garbage going on in this realm as well. Alright, that's another one. Another couple of chests. We needed 63 at the start of this episode, and I think we're getting at least 10 per realm, I want to say. but of course that is just an estimate. And I'm avoiding optional combat in this round because something about it just annoys me. Let's go down, nothing there. Go around. Let's see what we got here. Nothing there. Grab that, grab this. Opening all of these chests. Fuck off, dude. Yeah, there's... I think one of these Calumniers probably has a trait that allows it to... Yeah, that allows it to do stuff at the start of battle, which just slows everything down. And this battle was like... It had the worst of everything. It had one of those guys doing stuff at the start of battle, and then it also had an enemy that's just immune for no good reason. It forces you to take a second turn. Garbage, man. Absolute garbage. So let's see. We still don't have enough Stardust. We're off by 300. We're off by 370. Jesus, man. Jesus, dude. Okay, so this is a false god fight. Okay. This is a bit of a problem, because we previously already had the Lost Construct to fight. So after fighting the Lost Construct, then we gotta set a bounty for Mindworm. So maybe... Fuck off. What are you guys doing? Fuck off, dude. So maybe we're not gonna get a chance to do a lot of extra grinding in this episode. Maybe we're just gonna be killing 2 false gods and that's it. Because after we kill Lost Construct, we're gonna have to kill Mindworm, and we're gonna have to go deeper into the realms in order to do that. I'm not gonna start him at the top of the timeline. I'm just never gonna do that with any false god. We're just gonna... We're just never gonna do that, right? It's just not worth the hassle. Alright. Dealt with. Guess we can hit a couple of these guys. Guess we can do that. Alright, some more duplicate cards, that's okay. Another treasure chest is also nice. Immune to spell damage is fine as well. Alright. Treasure chest collected. And these guys dealt with as well. We're just not taking that. We're just not taking that. We're gonna be disciplined. I'm gonna be disciplined from now on. Just never take that. Take the thing that puts the boss at the top of the timeline. Maybe it's gonna be viable. Fuck off. Maybe it'll be viable when we're playing as the Royal and when we have the Windrunner anointment. But right now, like... We just don't have any anointments to spare. We have no anointments to spare. It's gonna be... In fact, already there's like 6 anointments that we currently need and only 5 slots, because we would ideally like both Singleton and Dreadnought. but we can only pick 5. So we literally have no space in which we can put the Windrunner first served. Literally no space for that. Literally no space for that, dude. Unless we get rid of Singleton, and then it'll mean that every single fight potentially is gonna become a problem because of enemies doing garbage at the start of battle. And if they're scripted to do stuff at the start of battle, that supersedes any timeline stuff, because they're not taking a turn on the timeline and then acting and then giving their turn to someone else. No, they're just doing stuff at the start of battle. So if it says at the start of battle enemy attacks, at the start of battle enemy casts, and if they happen to be resistant to silence, and if the realm has garbage like this, attack additional times, then I'll give you another clearer example, right? A couple realms ago, when enemies were attacking at the start of battle, how annoying that was. Well, just imagine how much more annoying it would be. Imagine how much more annoying it would be with like if all of that was multiplied by 4, right? So this is why we cannot afford to lose Singleton, right? So even ahead of Dreadnought, I'll keep Singleton. Although then every once in a while, I'll wish that I had Dreadnought if we're forced to attack some enemy. But whatever, we're not exactly, we don't exactly have the room to spare, you know. That's the issue that we're facing. Right, another couple chests knocked out. Another couple chests knocked out. Take out these dudes. Ooh, another chest. Is there any thing left? I guess there's the false god left. Sup, bro? Okay. Oh god, 281. I'm just gonna pick whatever's on top. 6,000 reputation is fine. Alright, so we gotta go to home base to set a new bounty. And we gotta also destroy a couple things. So what were the nether stones that we had to kill? It was 281 and I think 292? Yeah, 281, 292. And then 320. 320. 281, 292, 323. Alright. $281, 292, 323. Now set a new bounty against. Let's confirm that it is Mindworm. It is Mindworm. With the correct guild. Alright. Let's see how we're doing. We're at. Yeah, we're up to 6%, right? That's pretty good. Well, 5.9 on the others, but we're slowly ramping that up. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Alright. Let's go back in and take out Spoonor. Okay. Is there anything else to do here? I don't think so. Oh, we're back in the very same realm. Okay. That's nice. Alright. Alright, lads, let's get this done. 4080 rules over Forgotten Lab. Oh, this timeline nonsense. This timeline nonsense. Alright. Alright, let's hit you. And let's see what we got inside here. I mean, I don't really care what we have inside chests anymore. I'm just opening them at this point to get the achievement. Hey, we did it, boys! We did it! Oh, did you see that? Treasure Trove 10, open 50,000 chests. I am not opening a single chest for the rest of this episode. Well, I say that and then I immediately... But that was muscle memory, dude. I'm not going to open a single chest except for when we have this Rune of Prophecies objective. Outside of that, we're not opening chests anymore. We're only opening chests when it's... Oh god. I guess the other example is when the enemies spawn chests that are literally in our way. Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to walk around the treasure chest that the game spawned literally in my path, because that would be a bit silly, right? That would be taking things a little bit overboard. Well, we're no longer going, you know, down long dead end hallways to see what chests might be at the end. And arguably there's a reason to no longer do these realms as well, because all they give you is 75 favor and then 2 treasure chests. But it's a pretty long-winded way to get 75 favor, because you gotta walk all the way in and then you gotta kill the guy and then walk all the way out. So we might stop doing those as well just to save time. Right, Spoonar? See ya, Spoonar. Oh god. Oh, and even though I'm done collecting chests, the game will still try to give you loot upon other triggers, like killing nether bosses, like completing realms. So even though I'm not opening chests anymore, the game is still giving me trash, dude. Oh god. So I gotta get rid of that nether stone when we get back. Jesus, dude. Alright. And the game is in full troll mode. After giving me a trash nether stone, it's also giving me a protected elite. So, you know, that's pretty heinous. Anyway, let's go. Let's just get this realm done. Don't open chests. And don't interact with... No more talking to strangers, because the only thing strangers give you is loot. Unless you think the stranger might be a master, which it won't be. If you've already fought the Realm Master, it also means... Motherfuck, dude. I was gonna say it also means no more fighting treasure golems. But that obviously doesn't account for treasure golems that have just given up on life and are suicidal. Luckily, this one did not give us garbage. Alright. Alright. What was it? It was, I think, 234, but let's confirm. Yeah, 234. Destroy that. 234. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Is there a reason to hand in any missions? Well, there's a couple more missions we need to hand in, so I guess we should. Let's drop another key forge, I guess. Right, boys. Well, let's continue. New realm. Another Xantai fight. And yep. Another Xantai fight. Man, it's gonna take... It's gonna take... Excuse me? What? What? I don't... What the fuck is Shadow Step? Is that the Valora trait? Is that the Valora trait? Oh god, what the fuck, dude? Is that the Valora trait? I think it might be the Valora trait. Let me just check. Yeah. So he must have had just like some absurd. So bosses start with highly inflated health totals, and then a lot of bosses have this really dumb property where they have this thing that says something happens based on some percentage of its highest stat, but its highest stat will always be health by like 3 or 4 orders of magnitude ahead of its other stats. Like its health will be like 10,000 times what its... Like its other stats will be within a certain range, and then its health will be like 10,000 times whatever that is. And so like a lot of these traits feel like they were written for a different version of the game when bosses had health similar to their other stats. But then when I don't know when in its development it happened, at some point it was just decided that bosses would have health that is many orders of magnitude bigger than their other stats. Then all of these effectively become, the boss gets some crazy, like whatever the trait is doing, it will always be based on its health, because its health will always be the biggest stat, and it will always give it more of a... Whatever it's giving it, it'll give it... It'll do it to a degree that just doesn't make sense. So yeah, we got killed by Vlora, even though we should have had pretty good defenses against indirect damage. So let's look at the indirect damage reduction we have via our traits. Resistant to debuffs. We should have some resistance to indirect damage via this person. 70% less indirect damage. And then I guess there's one more thing you can do. There's another phase warrior thing that says specific enemies, or like specific people in your party. Man, I need to stop opening chests. I've just had my mood ruined by that Xantai nonsense. But I did say earlier that Xantai fights, because of the weird like combination of things that can happen, are the only instances where this build can sometimes fail. Obviously, if you purely wanted a build that has a good win rate, in terms of it's likely to win every single battle it fights, then the animator build that I had when I started this series, what that build eventually turned into is the safest way, right? Because it had much better damage reduction and much better defenses and much better stat scaling as well. But its issue was it was slower at finishing battles than this build. So this build it has the detriment that every once in a while, if the enemy has, like, it's not invincible, it's not indestructible the way the animator build was, but most battles it finishes instantly, and most battles it'll do a very good job, and it'll do very quickly. So overall, you'll get through the game much quicker. Whatever achievement you're going for, you'll get through it much quicker. But at the cost of, you know, as I mentioned, every once in a while some garbage will happen. Every once in a while some nonsense will happen, and it'll ruin your day. Not your day, but like you'll be annoyed for a few minutes. Alright, next time we're fighting a nether boss, or next time we're fighting Xantai, I'll show you what I mean about the whole stats not making sense thing. If we're ending battles too quickly, otherwise I'd show you how it works, or what it looks like for regular enemies, what their stat range looks like. Not even so much like what their stats are, but what their health is, what their health level is in comparison to what their other stats are. So these guys survived. So now I can show you. Okay, so his health is about 10 times his other stats. This guy's health is basically in the same range as his other stats. In fact, his health isn't even his highest stat. Right? So these are the stat levels that normal enemies have, but for bosses, their health is just artificially inflated. Which, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the way the game handles the game's chosen way of giving bosses a bit of durability. Like, analyzing it in a purely mechanical sense, I just don't know how I feel about it. Because most of the time, it'll be fine, but every once in a while, some nonsense will happen. And maybe that's, to some level, inevitable. Maybe no matter what approach you pick, you know, under the right conditions, it can yield nonsensical results. But with this one, I don't know. Like I said, I just don't know. I even don't know necessarily how I would improve it, because this game has some very convoluted game rules and game mechanics. So I'm sure whatever fix I come up with is gonna end up breaking something else. Anyway, boys, let's just go through. We need to go and we need to find another false god. Please stop. It's those Calamneer Bet, whatever those guys are. They're causing issues. So what the fuck does a Calamneer Bet actually do? What enemy... Man, that is so complicated. Enemies cannot gain this creature's personality decreased stats, and this creature attacks enemies when this would happen. That is so specific. That is so hyper specific, man. And we do gain stats at the start of combat. So I guess whenever we're gaining, like specifically, I think we gain health at the start of combat. And so I guess if it's reduced stat as health, then it's gonna then that nonsense is gonna trigger. Anyway. Alright. Alright. Let's get some glory. Get some glory. Alright. Hit these people. Alright, boys. Alright. Let's get the rest of this done. Do we want to go all the way there just to see what there is? I vote no, because what else? I guess we might find a treasure map. Let's see. Let's see what there is in the rest of this map, ignoring treasure chests, because we actively do not want them. I guess it was worth coming here for a bit of favor. And then that's all we got. Yeah, and just to explain why I'm not doing these portal rooms anymore, it's because I'm not doing treasure chests anymore. The only other thing you get out of these rooms is 75 favor, and it's just such a slow way to get 75 favor. Walk all the way in, kill one guy, walk all the way back out. No thanks. I'm gonna do things a little bit more quickly. Where's the exit? Excuse me? Excuse me? Have we... Oh, it's behind us. You know what? Alright, let's go. Let's go. New realm. I'm actually gonna lower the item bonus from 300 to 200. Alright, do we care about you? We do care about you. 4080, I think... I'm pretty sure that was the exact same as the last thing we were asked. Right, so we gotta find... Oh god, we got nonsense happening. But buried treasure is something different from regular treasure chests. Okay. Alright. Please stop. Okay. So buried treasure, I think, is this stuff? Yeah. Oh, do not hit the treasure chests. And then just find the stuff we're looking for. Nope. No more treasure chests for us. We are we're on a treasure diet. Please stop. Oh, protected, of course. Of course. Well, this realm is trash. Utter trash. Treasure is meaningless to us. Next, no, Lucanian. You're dead. The game really is trying to... The game really doesn't understand the wavelength that we are on. What? Excuse me? Excuse me? Where have I not gone? See how I expertly dodged that guy just to go to a useless place. Where have I not been? Is this realm bugged? I think this realm is bugged, dude. Because there's no more buried treasure that I can... Yeah, there's... No. I just missed two of them that were really close. I just missed two of them that were really close by. That was my fault. My fault. New realm. Again, I'm gonna lower the loot bonus to 179. Alright. So first, another portal. I went in and out because I didn't want to fight a bunch of skeletons for the sole reward of getting a bit of treasure. But ooh, and we go. Ooh. These riddles would have been more useful while we were still searching for riddle dwarves, but I guess... I didn't want it. Well, we fought the mimic, but we're not going to open the chest. Kill you. Please stop. What is wrong with this? Oh, it's an extra trait realm. That explains it. The fuck off, dude. Oh, I just want to be gone. I just want to be done. Okay. Okay, at least you were cooperative. Let's like this. No sign of these riddle dwarves either. There's a mystery. There should be 3 of them scattered through the realm. Here they are. Well, here's 2 of them. Summon direwolf must be nature. Fuck off. Fuck off, dude. List the rules over far. Like, how is summon direwolf not a nature? Like, how is summon direwolf not a... Get fucked, game. And again, you see why the riddle dwarf thing needs to be changed. Because the reason I, like, accepted the possibility of getting it wrong was because there were no stakes to it. Because we already got our riddle dwarves, like, you know, our riddle dwarf done for this iteration of the Rune of Prophecies. Had I needed to get the answer correct, I would have just looked it up. And if you have a thing where the only way to get it correct is to look it up, because nobody in their right mind is memorizing all of the multiple thousands of combined entries, you know, including both the creatures and nobody in their right mind is actually learning all of that. And if there's a thing in the game where you're forced to look it up, then just change it, right? Whatever, dude. I know sometimes people leave comments about like their heuristics of how they try to approach Riddle Dwarf questions. They're like, well, if the name sounds like this, then you know maybe it's probably sorcery, and probably yeah, probably that's correct. Maybe 75% of the time, but then a lot of the time you'll just get things wrong for no discernible reason. And then are you gonna remember the thing that you got wrong? No, you're not, because it's 1 out of 1,000+ spells or 1 out of 1,000+ creatures. And the next weird, you know, thing you get asked to identify whose name isn't whose class isn't what its name implies is going to be something completely different. Anyway, let's quickly mop the floor with Deathwalker. Get wrecked, Sunny boy. Got a bunch of missions to hand in, which we'll do. And I think next, our False God fight should surely be coming up. Easy does it. Alright, boys. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright. Let's we're looking for the master. That's why we can't just up and leave this realm. Not just yet anyway. Anyway, let's hit a bunch of those guys as well. I guess we'll hit this enemy, sure. Hit the F master pretty quick. Another, fuck off, man, fuck off. Out of my way. Get out. Get out of my face, man. You knew it wasn't my fault and you talked shit about me anyway. Fuck you, Apoconox. You're no friend of mine. Alright. Alright. Let's do this. And let's go for before we go for the next realm, let's hand in one of these projects. Actually, let's hand in both of them and start new missions. Start new training. Attack. Start a... Man, come on. We really haven't... Whatever. Alright, let's kill Mindworm. Let's roll a good bonus first. The 81 is gonna do. Let's go for it. Attack damage, sure. Oh, whatever. Let's do the losers less stats. Let's do always critical damage. Let's do... We'll take the 7 debuffs. We're getting tons of Pando Shrines. No... No... I think we're just gonna hand in our Rune of Prophecies at the end of this, as opposed to waiting in vain for... I don't know for that. Waiting in vain for 2 buried treasures. Well, let's see. If there's a treasure map in this very realm, then we'll play. What the fuck is? Oh my god! There's some nonsense happening where they're evading our like burn their corpses. Oh, there is some major garbage happening, dude. Some major nonsense happening. But whatever, let's just take Death's Bane. 265 garbage, almost 7,000. Nature Guild reputation is pretty good though. We're gonna hold on to that Keyforge mission. We're just gonna hand in this Rune of Prophecies because it's garbage. Fuck off, dude. Also, imagine dealing with these guys and not having Singleton. Right? Like, imagine dealing with these guys and not having Singleton. And running into a realm where it's like, attack 11 times. Cast 28 times. Like, that, yeah. This is why we don't have room for first served in this party. It's because while it will put you at the top of the timeline, it will not... Fuck off, dude. It will not negate start of battle things, and it will not negate things that happen on weird automatic triggers. Like in the middle of somebody's turn. Look at this garbage, man. Look at this actual trash, dude. There's still a master to kill, really? And where, pray tell, is this man? Ah, I didn't want to open that. Get fucked, dude. Where? There. Oh my god, stop, dude. Okay, how do I leave? Well, this realm is trash, man. I think we're just gonna leave, and I don't think I have the energy to. Oh god. Well, what we'll do is we will hand in this Rune of Prophecies, and then You know what? We're gonna... I'm gonna hold on to this. I'm gonna hand in this Rune of Prophecies next episode. Actually, no. I'm gonna hand it in now. I'm gonna hand it in now, and I'll explain why. First of all, save and continue. And I'm gonna be like save scumming until I get a good Rune of Prophecies. 9 lines is fine. So, Goblet. Yeah. So this one is not good. So I'm gonna be 2 hunt missions. Fuck off. So I'm gonna be rolling until we get a decent Rune of Prophecies. So I'll see you when we have one. Until then, I'm gonna pause it. So see you in a bit. Alright, this one I will accept, even though it has arena combat. And we'll get the arena combat done right now. This one has 4 Pando Shrines, 4 Riddle Dwarves, and a bunch of gambling. In fact, everything except scratch cards will do the gambling just now. A treasure golem, which we'll try to track down. And then the usual things. More treasure chests, yes. But only 28 of them, and then we can stop collecting those. No candle summoning, which is a huge relief. And the rest of it, 4 creature masters. So we will have to do 4 realms with this party. But before we do any of that, and also we don't have to hand in the Goblet of Trials, so we can hold on to that one for a future one as well. Let's just get this, these 8. 3 of your not I don't want to kill 3 of my own creatures. Let's just get these 8 arena battles done. This creature attacks. One of your other creatures attacks instead for 50% more damage. When you say attacks instead, I don't know. That seems weird. You know what? Let's just take this. When it's not their turn, I don't care. Deals more damage. Sure. You know, that seems pretty good. Let's take that. And let's take that. And we're just gonna mash the A button. Just the goal is gonna be just attack, and never stop attacking. Motherfuck this nonsense, dude. Oh my god, fuck off. Fuck off with this nonsense, man. Are you... Fuck off with this fucking nonsense. Fuck off, dude. Just mash the A button. Just mash the A button. Oh, fuck you, dude. Fuck off. Invisible enemies. Enemies that are scorning us. All the nonsense is happening. All the nonsense is happening. Anyway, we're at round 6. Fuck off, dude. Stop it. Round 7. Round 8. Round 9 is when we bail. Get lost, nerds. Alright. Okay. Everything except scratch cards is the gambling that we have to do. We'll do that. Starting with the longest, which is Siralim. Just don't give me extra turns and I'm gonna be happy. Just don't... Okay, good. We skipped the extra turns. That's great. And yeah. Alright. Oh. Alright. And everything except scratch cards. So you... Alright. And anything else we need to do off the bat? I don't think so. Next episode, we're gonna have to spend a few times trying to get a treasure golem to spawn. A few realms trying to get a treasure golem to spawn. And we're gonna have to have 4 realms of hunting Rhodian creature masters. But that's gonna be something for next time. Oh, let's also set a bounty before I forget, because I am 100% gonna forget. Let's set it against let's do Lost Construct again, because I feel like Lost Construct actually has a few things that might even be useful. But you know what, let's just do it like that. Let's set a new project. Man, come on, dude. Guess I'll start another key forge, and then let's, I guess, start wrapping up, and let's see what was accomplished this episode. We got a very important achievement. Oh, I need to look at recent achievements. A very important achievement, Treasure Trove 10 for opening 50,000 treasure chests, which means we never have to open treasure chests ever again, except for, with the caveat being, when it is required as part of our Rune of Prophecy, we have to do it. But that is only going to be a thing that is being done while we still care about Runes of Prophecy. And speaking of Runes of Prophecy, we handed in 1 Rune of Prophecy this episode for 9 lines, and it took us to 412 overall runes and 3,174 lines. So we made a tiny bit of progress there. We need to get like 588 more Runes of Prophecy handed in, which sounds like a lot, but we aren't hardcore farming Runes of Prophecy right now. So right now we're just making ambient progress on this while we work on other things. The main thing that we're working on this episode, well, in the last couple episodes, which we didn't work on at all this episode, was grinding minions and resurrections. This, hopefully, we're gonna get some of that worked on next episode. What we did work on this episode, though, is we no longer have to open treasure chests. Or, to be more precise, we no longer have any achievements specifically for opening treasure chests. There are other achievements that opening treasure chests counts indirectly towards via the Rune of Prophecies. You know, I just explained that. We are done with this. And we also made a bit of progress on this other stuff. So we're getting close to 97,000 destructible objects for Homewrecker. and we're just past 48,000 resource nodes. These are going to be the next big ones, because similar to the treasure chests, once these two achievements are done, then outside of being specifically told by the Rune of Prophecies, so the thing for destructible objects and resource nodes is called break stuff, and it'll give you some amount that you gotta get. And then the treasure chest achievement is simply called open treasure chest. And so we'll have to do these again only while we care about Runes of Prophecy, which itself eventually is going to be permanently closed when we do the 1000th Rune of Prophecy. But for now, you know, it still winds up being that after a couple realms of breaking stuff, after a couple realms of opening treasure chests, once you hit these, then for the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, however many other realms you do before handing in that Rune of Prophecy, you then don't need to do any of this stuff, right? So it is still gonna save us a lot of time overall, even when the Rune of Prophecy is asking us to do this stuff. So it's the true time savings are gonna be locked behind us getting all of the Runes of Prophecy done, but right off the bat, we are gonna notice as early as next episode, we're gonna start noticing some major streamlining of the way we go through these play sessions. And I guess there's one last thing we can look at, which is, let's take a look at creature parts. We are at 6.67. I don't know if we moved at all or if we started at that at the start of the episode, but that's where we are for that. We're also at still only 3 out of 50 nether synthesis missions that we need to do. The game is asking for way too much on that one, but whatever. We'll get it done at some point. Anyway, that's gonna be all for this one. How long has this episode been going? It's been an hour and 18 minutes, so a decent length. Next episode, like I said, will be a mix of a high-level realm delving and then low-level combat achievement farming, and we'll see how that goes. But for now, that's gonna be all for this one. And until the next time, take care.